From Isaiah, the 62nd chapter. You shall no more be termed forsaken, and your land shall no more be termed desolate. But you shall be called, My delight is in her, and your land married. For the Lord delights in you, and your land shall be married. For as a young man marries a young woman, so shall your builder marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your God rejoice over you. Here ends the reading. And from John, the 2nd chapter. On the 3rd day there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, They have no wine. And Jesus said to her, Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come. His mother said to the servants, Do what he tells you. Now standing there were 6 stone water jars for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, Fill the jars with water. And they filled them up to the brim. He said to them, Now draw some out and take it to the chief steward. So they took it. When the steward tasted the water that had become wine and did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew, the steward called the bridegroom and said to him, Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine after the guests have all become drunk. But you have kept the good wine until now. Jesus did this, the first of his signs in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. The ending of the gospel.
I like weddings. I'm not a romantic. Indeed, I hardly know the couple today. But in our culture, you invite her family, his family, and the village. Me? I'm part of the village. Cana, in Galilee. And what a wedding it is. What I like is a change of pace. We work 6 days a week. Life can be a grind, day in, day out, week by week. It is such a joy to get a break and celebrate. Day of celebration, sometimes days of celebration. Of course, it's rare for such an event to go without some sort of hitch. But today's celebration's hitch, that was a big one. We only got part way in and the wine ran out. Talk about disasters. The host was upset, the couple was upset, and of course, the guests were upset. While the wine is not the only part of the celebration, it's important. It's an important item to keep everything flowing. It adds to the flavor of the food. It makes the nerves ease a bit and helps with the mixing and talking. It's also the one thing that gets Uncle Larry out on the dance floor to do his duck dance. You have to see that. Without wine, it's just the village. The joy is just not there. With the wine, it's a party, a celebration. So today the wine ran out. That reminds me, get a refill here. But there's this guy, Jesus. He's kind of a religious guy. He was here with his followers because his mom was invited. That's okay. That's how these celebrations go. Everyone is invited. We leave no one out. We welcome all. This Jesus talks about God and his kingdom being here. And I'm not sure what all that's about. I've only just heard of this Jesus. But this Jesus, his mother got him to talk to the host. Next thing I know, the servants are rounding up these 30 gallons of jugs that only hold water for cleaning. Those things are huge. There must have been a half dozen of them, too. I saw nothing happen, heard nothing weird. But the next thing I know, the wine is flowing again, and in such amounts. Not only that, this is the really good stuff. Really, it's worth waiting for, worth staying around as well. It's a gathering again. Some people even talk about being a miracle. I don't know about that. But I do know it happened. Somehow that water became the finest wine you can imagine. Those are going to have trouble getting anyone to leave. This will confirm this is the best gathering in a long time. Getting back to this Jesus, it did hit me. If Jesus talks about God and his kingdom here and now as well as in time to come, this would almost be like a visual aid to show what that would be like. Heaven is sometimes described as a great wedding banquet. Like the book of Isaiah. Heard today. The book of Isaiah talks about the land being married to God. In that part you heard read today. And earlier in Isaiah, it even talks about a grand feast on a mountain. All sort of like today. With the celebration, the gathered crowd, it's easy to imagine. For this day, we set aside differences. We simply enjoy one another's company. Today, like the kingdom, where all are welcomed, the joy flows. The kingdom, where we gather in joy rather than focus on our differences. The kingdom, where we all enjoy one another rather than trying to bend others to our liking and our will and what we would want them to do. If we could do that with all our gatherings, with our dealings with others, whether it be a wedding, or time to worship, or simply in time together, it would be a taste of something to come. Today's wine, miracle, sign, whatever. It certainly could be the taste of God's kingdom to come. Be welcoming of all, accepting of one another. It's the start of the kingdom now. Oops, that's the call for Uncle Larry to do his duck dance. Don't forget the party. I've got to go.